Okay, now it's time for a little bit more on the unit circle. I've drawn it. Remember, the radius is 1. So this distance right here to this point right here from the origin is 1. And that's true for every point on here. Here is a point that we're calling T. It doesn't have anything to do with time this time. It has to do with the fact that I'm calling that point T. And this T has an x-coordinate, and I'm going to call that x, and it has a y-coordinate, and I'm going to call that y. And so T is equal to the x-coordinate x, or I'm sorry, the coordinate xy. And what we know about xy, we know that x is something less than 1, the way I've drawn it, and we know that y is something less than 1, the way I've drawn it, but we also know, whatever these numbers are, that x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. That is true for every point on this unit circle. You're thinking, why is he repeating that? He said that in the last lecture. Why does he have to repeat himself? The reason I have to repeat myself is it's amazing how quickly you forget this very critical fact. So don't forget it. So this x is this distance right here. Let me do it in a different color. That's x. And this is y. And we have a name for every point T on this unit circle. We have a name for the x-coordinate, and we have a name for the y-coordinate. And you can probably guess what it is. We call this y, we call that the sine of T. And this x number, we call this the cosine of T. That sine, if I spell it out, it's S-I-N-E. Cosine is C-O-S-I-N-E, but we abbreviate it sine T and cos T. And what I know from this is that the cosine T squared, you're going to see this so much you're going to get sick of it, but I don't want you to get sick of it, I want you to love it. You're going to see that the cosine squared of T, and that's how we write it, plus the sine squared of T is equal to, guess. Remember, x squared, this x squared that we're calling the cosine of T is that same number. And this sine squared of T, that's this same number here. Together, these guys equal 1, and so do these. You will see this a lot. I want you to just bear in mind what we've got with this unit circle. For every point T that we have on here, there's a corresponding x and y coordinate. And it follows, it is true that x squared plus y squared equals 1. And we call the x-coordinate the cosine of T, and we call the y-coordinate the sine of T.